Okay. So should I do it or?
Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah.
All right, man. So I'll start it up. So welcome to Q and Me podcast. I'm Artie. Got Mo over there.
So, bro.
This is the first episode of the third season, and we actually have a special guest today. We have a boxer. We have son of Anderson Silva. You're making it up the ranks. We got Kalyl Silva on this one. So happy to see y'all. You
Oh,
got it on here?
the claps? You want the claps?
Yeah, couple claps. Man.
Oh, sorry. It's been a minute since I did it. What is it?
Oh, great.
Is it C? No. No, all right. You know what? I'll figure it out later.
Bro
But
lost the claps.
I fucking forgot the claps. It's all good, bro.
Appreciate you being here today, bro.
No problem, bro.
Man. So we wanted to go in a
Yes,
couple
sir.
of
Thank you
things.
guys for having me.
No, you're welcome, bro.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we wanted to go into a couple of things actually. We wanted to know, actually, obviously your dad's Anderson. He was doing MMA all his life, but what made you feel like, okay, I want to start doing some kind of combat sports too?
Man, I've been doing it my whole life, especially with my brother, my cousins. We all grew up doing it, playing soccer and fighting. That was our thing. So we were always around it. Ever since I was a baby, my dad took me to his fights way before he was in the UFC. So I was pretty much always around it, and I grew up training, and my brother started fighting first, amateur. And he was like, hey, why don't you start competing too? And I was like, why not? So then I started with kickboxing, and now I'm gonna see where I could take it.
So you started with kickboxing, but most of it is boxing, and you're a boxer now. So why did you choose
Yeah,
boxing
correct.
instead of more MMA stuff?
Yeah, so I have two coaches, Coach Nico and Coach Dore. And Dore have been training my dad since he was probably my age, honestly, maybe even a little before. So he's our boxing coach. So he told me, hey, I have an event down in Brazil. It's a professional event. If you're ready to make that transition, which I think you're ready to make that transition. And, I was like, why not? If they think I'm ready, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. So why not, make that transition? So then I made my professional boxing debut out there. I still haven't fought any other professionally in any other like kickboxing or MMA or anything like that. Just strictly boxing for now. But I do plan on making that transition one day if the opportunity arises.
Okay, so do you feel like you would switch between the two? Like, is your plan to like maybe one day do UFC fights and then continue to boxing?
Yeah, I for sure want to transition into MMA. We'll see what's right for me in the future. But for now, I'm focused on boxing. But I'm not keeping my doors closed for anything else.
Yeah, of course. That's really cool to see though. So I guess that's how it's going
Yeah,
right now. I did get to see, the highlights from that first match that you had. So it was at
yeah,
155 and then like I guess the round was almost over in the last round and you got a knockout.
yes, sir. Yeah, it was a fourth round knockout body shot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nah, your dad was praying. Like he was down there. So it was cool seeing the clip of both of y'all.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's always that I love about him. He's always super vocal. And when I'm up there, all I can hear is his voice. Every little command that he told me to do, I did it like he's playing a video game almost. Like he says this, I do it. He says that, I do it. So it's awesome having him there because he's a key part of my training. And yeah, it's always great having him in the corner.
Bro, that's dope. Imagine having your dad on, like in the corner, just like cheering on. He's like, yo, fucking do it. Come
Yeah.
on, bro. Like, you got this.
What's funny, I think, is
Yeah,
that like
he's like a. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, I said I think it's funny that like a lot of parents who do like boxing and sports, a lot of them they don't have their children like get into it. So it's kind of like cool seeing like that. Your dad was like supportive the whole time.
Yeah, 100%. He's always been supportive with everything that me and my siblings choose to do.
I feel like most of them like try to get their kids to join like sports like that, but like it's either up to them if they want to like go to the mantle of like their own father and like see if they're able to like hold up to like what they're capable of.
100%.
And yeah, it's always important to like
I
carry
feel
on
like
it's important to carry on your father's legacy, especially like he's already getting older, like you're up and coming, you're young, so it's like you want to show that you're able to put in a little more work and like show them that like, hey, like I'm in it to win it. So
For sure. Yeah. I do things for me, because something that has always been on my mind is like, I could be one of the best. Like, I could be better than everybody and still not be good enough for other people, So I really have to, I have to have a mindset of like, okay, why am I doing this? What do I want to get out of this? And that's the only way that I'll be satisfied with myself, because I could, I could be the best fighter in the world right now and still not be good enough for, in the eyes of the world. So I do things for myself and whatever makes me happy.
So for the people that don't know, what is your boxing stance? Is it normal or is it southpaw? What is it?
No, I'm orthodox. I'm working on switching. I try to do both, but I'm not comfortable enough to do it in a fight yet.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just starting.
But I like to switch. Yeah.
So the last fight, the first pro fight you had was like 155, I think it was. So do you plan on like staying at that weight, or like is this the most comfortable weight you feel like, or is it kind of too early for you to know?
It's very early for me to tell. My first kickboxing fight, amateur, was at 147, I believe. But I do want to get a little bigger and add a little more muscle to me. So I might stay at 155 or, go up to 165. But for now,
That's a huge jump. That's a huge 10-pound jump right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're able to handle it, then yeah, I would say definitely go for the 10-pound jump. But.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's tough because I might stay on 155 or my coaches always tell me you could go lower, you're gonna be like so much bigger.
Oh, it's easier to go lower, yeah, but it's harder to go upper. It's harder to go higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good though.
And it's how you feel, because it's a lot, bro. It's a lot to cut that weight.
Mm-hmm. So obviously having your dad, having to cut weight for all these fights that he had, has he already shared like some of those secrets of like losing 10, 15 pounds in a day, stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We never had to go drastically like that, but I've never had an issue making weight.
Oh, okay.
Like he always guides me like perfectly. He's like, yo, do this, and that, and let me know at the end of the week what your weight is like. And it just like that, I lose everything. So I never really had an issue with that.
So you were never like a pound or two above weight that you had to like cut it immediately? Like you were always like
for my last fight, I had I think it was about a pound that I needed to cut. But I woke up. I remember I woke up earlier. I think the weigh-ins was at like 11 a.m. No, it was like 2 p.m. And then we woke up around 10 or 11. And then me and my dad, and then we just cut that last pound like super quick. And then we just went to the weigh-ins.
Nah, that's cool though. Like, luckily for you, you don't have that. But I know like it's crazy like that people are really like losing 15 and then they balloon up the day of the fight. So like,
yeah, that's insane.
Tyson Fury.
Like, do you feel like that's kind of like unfair? Like, how they're starting to have some no rehydration clauses and stuff like that in certain fights. Yeah. Do you feel like that's more fair? Because like some people are naturally at 180. This dude comes in at 180. Yeah. He's 200 when you actually fight him.
100%. I mean, if you can make it, for me, it's fair game. I could see, where the issue lies. I'm 155 and then somebody cuts 10, 15 pounds to fight me and they're naturally at 180 or something like that. They're going to be bigger. But, if you can make the weight, then you can make the weight. I don't have a problem with that,
Okay. Do you think when Daniel Cormier was holding the towel, you think that was cheating? Or like, you feel like, how he was holding the towel?
Yeah, I think that was, yeah. I think that was a little messed up. Because, we bro, some people, they struggle to make weight. And sometimes I feel that. Thank God I haven't struggled super hard to lose a lot of weight because I fight at a weight class that makes sense for my body. But, people, it's a whole other fight, bro. Like, you have to win that. And then, the actual fight, the cutting weight is one of the hardest things in the world. When it comes to the fight game. So to do that, I feel like, yeah, it's messed up. But he admitted to it. He owned up to it, so it's cool.
Um,
That's what's up.
so what is it? So obviously, like your dad went against Jake Paul. He did like a little celebrity boxing type of thing. Like, how was
Yeah.
that for you? Like having him do that. Do you feel like it was weird? Well, I want to ask you about that scene too, like of like those like influencer boxing type of things. Are you like in support of that? Do you feel like professional boxers who are a lot better than them should have more shine? Like, how do you feel about like that other scene?
Yeah, how do
It's
you
like
feel
getting
about it?
more popular.
Man, I think it's dope. I have friends who do that. Face Temper, the CEO of Face, he's my boy. He fights as well, and they put in work, bro. They put in work, and I respect them for wanting to do that. And they all fight each other. So it's dope. If you see it's an opportunity to bring more eyes to the sport, younger eyes. There's people that I saw at the Jake Paul fight who had no idea who my dad was.
Yeah.
So and they're not really into boxing. So to have those people that they look up to in that world, the media world, and now they're okay. Let me see what this is about. Let me go train as well. So I think is dope. It's really dope, and I like what they're doing,
Mhm.
and they pretty much get what they bring. So it is what it is. I think it's a good thing for the sport. If you're a professional boxer and you're mad at it, then just go fight them. Like
would,
Yeah.
figure it out
would
figure out
would
in the ring.
would you fight Jake Paul now?
Jake Paul is much bigger than I am, but
Mhm.
hey, if it ever happens and it makes sense,
Mhm.
I'm down for whatever. I love competing.
Mhm. Yeah. The only cool thing, like I hear that the purses are better than like things like the UFC and other places that take a lot much of your purse. So it seems cooler that
Yeah,
they get to hold more of that money for the events.
100%. Yeah, it's like I said, they get what they bring.
Mhm.
So the pay in the UFC is a whole other issue that I don't really know a lot about. I'm not in the UFC. I don't know the business of the UFC, so I can't really speak onto that.
Mhm.
But you'll get what you bring. That's all I have to say about that.
That's cool about that. So your
Yeah.
dad did, he has the longest streak. He has 16 in a row. It hasn't been touched yet. But I feel like a lot of stuff. He was obviously one of the greatest. A lot of people do feel like he is the best middleweight. But I feel like a lot of what started to kind of make people view him a little bit differently is that he stayed, past his prime. Your dad's 47. He's still fighting people. So
That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
like to me, I felt like when he went against Anderson, when he went against Israel, I felt like that should have been his last fight. But
Yeah.
obviously, your dad has a love for it. He wants to box and keep continuing to do things. Do you feel like he's getting to the age where like maybe he shouldn't be fighting as much as he is
Like
anymore?
enough is enough.
Mhm.
Like where he's like, you can call it.
Man, I know the age that he's told me before, the age that he wants to stop fighting at.
Mhm.
But man, that he loves fighting. That's everything. He's been fighting his whole freaking life, and he absolutely loves to fight.
Mhm.
And if he feels like, and man, you guys only see him on fight day. I see him train. He trains every single day. He does not stop at all. He trains me, and then if he's not training himself, he goes and he goes with our coaches, and then he trains. And he's an absolute animal, bro. Like the sparring sessions for the Jake Paul fight, like absolutely insane. There were moments where I couldn't even touch him, and I was trying my absolute hardest to touch him.
Yeah.
So his movement, his speed, of course, is different when you're up there against somebody that's much younger than you. There are things that you want to do in your mind that your body just won't allow
Yeah.
you to
Mhm.
do. But he feels like he still can. I know he still can. But there are fights that make sense for him to take, fights that don't really make sense just because of the age and things like that. But I feel like he can fight anybody he wants, because it's it's different. Like if you guys saw him training, you guys would know what I'm talking about. It's that dude just
Bro, if
loves
the
to
money
fight.
ain't right, he can't fight. That's all I'm saying.
So yeah, so yeah, it's just it's just part of him. You feel like no matter what, until he really can't do it anymore. You feel like,
Yeah, bro, 100%. I feel like something that helps is me and my brother fighting as well. So he'll still be around the sport. He's my head coach, so he still trains me. He trains my brother. So he'll still be around the sport for a long, long time. So I feel like that's something that helps him as well, because he just loves fighting. I feel like he'd be much harder if he's like, damn, I have to retire now and completely be away from it. He's always training. He's always giving seminars. He's actually in Brazil right now. He's gonna do a seminar out there. But he loves fighting, So I feel like he has a few more fights in him.
yeah, that's cool then, man. Because like I said, like I feel like he's not in his prime anymore, but it's definitely all his fights are still really competitive. It's not him, losing in a bad fashion. So that's why it's funny to be like he's 45, 47, still really competitive. When he was 27,
Yeah,
it's not. You weren't gonna see him at that point.
100%.
So that's really cool with that. So for you, you're just starting boxing, but what are some of like the long-term goals, or like what are the things you feel like at least now, okay, these 3 to 5 things I want to like achieve?
Right now, I just want to focus on my boxing career, get a few more fights going, get a good record going, and see where I could take that. The future is bright. The sport is moving so fast that there's so many different opportunities, so I couldn't really tell you right now, but I just want to focus on my boxing career. I still train everything outside of boxing when I don't have a fight schedule or anything. I'm in jujitsu. I train kickboxing. We're always active. When I'm training my dad, it's like there's no time clock. We just, we go outside and we just start training. If when we get tired, then we stop.
I do have a question though. Besides your father, who do you look up to as like your boxing inspiration?
Man, I would say MMA right now. Israel Adesanya is probably my favorite fighter. Like watching his kickboxing fights before the UFC, it's completely insane. But when it comes to boxing, there's so many different guys that I look up to. Devin Haney, Crawford. There's so many top guys right now. Boxing is very exciting right now. Tank. There's so many different guys.
I heard about Tank.
So you brought up
Yeah.
Tank. That's a pretty good one because he's undefeated. He has a fight coming up with Ryan Garcia soon. So
Yeah.
somebody's gotta go. You know what I mean? You already
Yeah.
brought up Tank, but do you feel like he takes that? Do you feel like it's close? Like how do you feel like that's gonna go?
It's it's a very interesting fight because Ryan has the reach. He's taller. I believe that he's faster, but man, you can't sleep on Tank. His boxing IQ is insane. He has that power behind him as well. So it should be a very interesting fight, like style wise. So I couldn't really tell you who I got taking that because there's so many different variables, but I'm very excited for that for sure.
Yeah, it seems like a good one. Like I feel like the last time I really cared like that much about something was when it was like Floyd and Pacquiao. Like two people who
Yeah,
like really, really like it's a really big fight. Those are the two of the biggest names in boxing right now is them two. So it's like cool to see
100%.
that. Like
Yeah, it's definitely a dope fight.
so when you view I want to say like different types of boxers with records and things like that and how often they fight. I feel like, more fighters with Floyd or people who are like more strategic or don't fight as often. Do you feel like it's like how do you feel versus that? Do you feel like if you're at the top of your game, should you be fighting that often? Do you feel like if they fight once every couple years, once every 4 years, do you feel like it makes them is it like running a little bit because you're the best and you don't fight in 4 years or 5 years and stuff like that?
Man, I feel like it's different for everybody. I think, and it's also like contracts and, the political side of things is just is so complicated, that especially as a top guy, there's so many different variables that like keep you away from fighting. You might want to fight 5 times in a year, but it might not make sense for everybody else who's making money off of that, behind you. That's in the business sides of things. Your managers, the other people's managers. There's so many people in between that that might mess that up for you. But I feel like it's much easier as a guy who's up and coming. Like, you could just find a fight, cool. All right, let me go do this. All right, find another. But as for a guy like, let's say, Devin Haney to fight 5 times in a year, I feel like there's so many different variables and so many people in between that might mess that up.
Man, that's some good stuff too. So another boxing fight that might happen. So Francis Ngannou's no longer with the UFC. Yes, they couldn't come to a decision about that. But I did hear years ago that, maybe there would be a boxing match between him and Tyson Fury. Obviously boxing wise, Tyson is top of that game, but like Ngannou's a striker, so he could switch into boxing and be really successful. So do you feel like that's something like, at least now, do you think that's really a close match? Or do you feel like Tyson would, have a big edge over him?
Tyson would mop him.
Yeah, bro. I think Tyson would he would toy with him pretty much. Yeah. I feel like Francis has the power. He's just a big, strong guy, but I feel like his boxing isn't just up to par with Tyson Fury.
I feel like movement-wise, like, he doesn't have it like Tyson.
Yeah, 100%. Like his movement. Yeah, there's so many different variables. Boxing is a different game, and I feel like Tyson Fury has that in the bag if that ever happens.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of fighters, obviously do a lot of trash talk. It's what builds the fight and things like that. Is it just like your father? Like, I haven't really heard trash talk or anything. You just started, so we don't really know how you're gonna be yet. But do you feel like it's important, like, at least from your side, to like be humble? Should you be trying to trash talk and just build the fight? Because like, guys like McGregor and other people like that, it's just trying to hype up the fight basically.
100%, and I feel like at a point it works, because people are going to be interested in it, and they're going to want to watch you fight. Whether they want to watch you lose or if they want to watch you win, they're going to watch the fight. I've never been the one to trash talk. I just let my fighting do the talking, but I understand why some people do it, and some people overdo it too, which I don't think is cool, but it keeps you interested, like you're going to want to watch the fight. Look at McGregor. He's one of the best to ever do that. Chael Sonnen, back when he fought my dad, he was trash talking like crazy. But imagine if he didn't do any of that, then there wouldn't be no interest in the fight, really. But I understand why people do it, and I don't really pay no mind to, if I'm fighting somebody who's trash talking like crazy, like it's whatever. I don't really pay no mind to it. I don't really know how how I'm gonna be. If I never really had somebody trash talk to me like crazy, so we'll see. But I'm not the one to do all that.
Yeah. It's funny you brought up Chael, actually, because you know how Chael was talking bad about people in Brazil and everything. Like, Chael really says anything. Like, it was actually like crazy, the fights between him and your dad.
Yeah, Chael is one of the best talkers, bro, in the game. Like, it's Chael, McGregor, like guys like that brings different eyes to the game, to the fight game, to MMA. They completely changed MMA and brought more eyes. I actually met Chael on my dad's press run for the Jake Paul fight. I went to the bathroom, he was washing his hands, and then I was like, oh shit, that's Chael. And then, he actually talked to me. He said, because I was backstage on their second fight. And then he came up to me. I wanted to go up to you and talk to you and say that like all these things weren't personal, that he respects my dad and everything like that. But I was too young to understand what it all meant anyways. Also didn't speak English, but he talked to me. He showed respect, and I appreciate him for that.
But yeah, supposedly that's how it mostly is. Like, they're selling the show, and then after they're good. Like, even
100%.
McGregor and Nate, they might be cool behind that. So it's really just like, you made millions of dollars together. You gotta, whatever works, you gotta continue with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. At the end of the day, that's all it is.
And I do think that's why, like, fights now, like you said, takes a lot longer to set up and everything, because when they're back to back and stuff like that, they're not doing the type of numbers as someone who fights once a year. So much anticipation and stuff like that. You got to make it like a Super Bowl. And, if you make it too often, like, it's not gonna have the same effect.
For sure. It's a lot of variables. Even if you take a look at guys like Izzy, in the beginning of his career, he became a champion in a year, and now it's, 1 fight, 2 fights a year, 3 fights a year. It's the pace is different because there's also all these other guys who, have to fight each other, figure out the division and all these other things. It's too many variables,
Yeah, man. This is the coolest thing. So your brother who boxes too, like he's early on. Has he had his first pro fight yet?
Not pro. He's a kickboxer right now.
Okay.
He has I think he's a 3-4 time champion right now.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, he's insane. His boxing too is crazy. You guys are gonna hear a lot about him soon.
Okay, would you say who's taking that, you and him?
Nah, bro. I am humble enough. I am humble enough to say, who's better and who's not, and he definitely, he's got that one.
Okay, but yeah, it's still early. You got some stuff to work on, but that's cool to see.
Yeah, for
though.
sure. For sure, I learned a lot from him. He's great, man. He's great.
Okay, so yeah, right now, what do you feel like for your boxing right now? What's like the thing you feel like you're lacking in the most?
For boxing, I feel like just getting certain movements, because it's a lot. The footwork is a lot different from kickboxing to boxing. So I'm still learning that. I'm still getting that down.
Okay, so that's cool then. And then, okay, you had your fight in December. It was December 22nd. Do you have any plans right now of when your next fight will be, or is there nothing right now?
I don't have a date yet. I'm just waiting on that. It'll be in Brazil for sure, at the same event out there. But I'm waiting on the date, and once that's set, then I'm good to go.
Okay. So that sounds really cool right now. We definitely want to see more from you. Want to see your next fight, see how you do, see if you can get, some more knockouts in a row.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
see how you do for that. But,
Yes, sir.
we were able to get through all the questions we had today. And once again, man, we do want to appreciate you being here, being able to take some time, meet with us, talk with us about stuff. Cool hearing about all the things you do, see some videos from you, training videos. Like, we see you at 155, but you a shredded 155, man. Like, it's cool seeing some
Thank
of
you,
the
bro.
things you do. Man.
Yo, I heard Arthur wants to, take you on in the ring. I heard he wants to put the gloves on. Yo, he told me, but before we got on, he was like, "Yo, I'm trying to put the gloves on, trying to see who's an actual fighter."
Bro. I have to get a little bigger, bro. You look a lot stronger than me, bro. I gotta hit the gym first.
Nah, bro, it has to be just wrestling, bro. I don't want you to hit me. Because you've been doing boxing too long. There's a funny
Yes,
Tank
sir.
video, actually. Bro said he said he would do MMA, and then he's like, they don't kick you in the face, though, right? He said, he didn't want nobody to kick him in the face.
That's funny, bro.
Yeah, bro. But, I know we took a lot of your time. It was fun having you. But, good luck to you and everything you have coming for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. Thank
So
you.
yeah, we're gonna wrap up this episode of QME Podcast, episode 1 of season 3. Yeah, this is your host Mo.
It's Artie. Thanks again to Kalyl again. And besides that, we always say Q and me. We always say quit making excuses. Get on your grind.
So yeah, without further
Yes,
ado, quit making excuses.
Get on your grind. Okay. So yeah, we done recording now, bro. But yeah, seriously though, it was cool talking about you, hearing about the things that you're doing right now, and it's cool that you're continuing a legacy of your father. A lot of people don't want to do that, or really your dad has already made it. He already is successful. So a lot of people don't really have that drive.
Yeah.
So it's cool being able to see you and your brother and it's you. Like your dad did him. You have to have your own accomplishments. So that's cool seeing that from both of you.
100%. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys. Nice meeting y'all.
You too, man. Thanks.
Peace,
Yes,
Mo.
sir.
See you, bro. So,
Oh wait, we can actually. So what do you think? What do you think of the?
we just had Kalyl Silva. You know what I mean?
Yo, bring the microphone closer.
We just had Kalyl Silva on.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
We going kind of crazy. Yo, he said he's friends with Temper. That's what
Yo, when he said that, I
he
was
said
like, oh shit.
He said that's one of his good friends.
Yeah, I heard. I
And
was
then
like,
he
oh shit.
told you like how Chael went up to him and he's like, bro, like, you know, he's selling the fights, but they're both cool and things like that. So it was cool, bro.
It was chilling, bro. Yeah. But yeah.
He's gonna have his next fight soon. We got to check into that.
Yo, make sure you check into Kalyl's next fight. We'll be there. We'll be watching it. We'll let you know how what we think.
Yeah, bro. And then we're gonna have some clips on this, so you know what I mean, there'll be some content to watch.
Yeah, there'll be a little more content. But yeah, we're definitely gonna bring more guests on and shit. So definitely stay in tune for that. We're gonna bring more people on here, and yeah, me and Arthur, we got shit to do. We're gonna head out. You got anything else to say before we officially wrap up?
Bro, we got more guests coming, bro. If you thought this was it, we about to keep getting more guests. I'm telling you.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Don't
for more.
sleep. Don't sleep.
No, don't sleep. Don't sleep. But yeah,
Other than that, bro, we'll catch y'all. We'll catch y'all, bro.
we'll catch you. We'll catch you. We'll catch you. Catch you. Catch you. Catch you. I'm gonna catch them all.
Thank you.